It is 3:18 and it is completely dark. Look at that. Holy cow. Alrighty folks, well, welcome back to an all-new episode of Maksim Outdoors. It's a little before 6 a.m. right now, and today is going to be a big one. So today, as you probably already know, is the solar eclipse. I've been planning this trip for well over a year right now. We got about a 2-hour drive ahead of us. We're going to be driving from Pittsburgh all the way up to Erie. I'll explain a little bit more about that, but yeah, I'm going to make some coffee and we're going to hit the road. So let's get going. We have about 100 miles to go until we get to Erie, but I just looked over to my left and check that out. It's like a very faint rainbow. I don't know if you could see that, but yeah, that's pretty cool. First thing we see as the sun comes up is a rainbow on eclipse day. Alright folks, well, good morning and welcome back. Hopefully you can see my face a little better than earlier. The sun has risen, and in just a few short hours, that same sun is going to be on a collision course with the moon as we see our first ever solar eclipse for the channel, and most likely the last solar eclipse that we'll see on the channel, given that the next solar eclipse here in Pennsylvania will be in 2099, I believe, which will put me at an old age of 109. So hey, you never know, but yeah, I'm just going to assume that this will probably be my last solar eclipse I see here in Pennsylvania. But before anybody leaves a comment below, there is going to be another solar eclipse in the United States in 2045, but we won't be able to see it to the extent we're going to see today, hopefully. I say hopefully because you can probably hear the rain behind the camera there. It is pouring out, it's nasty, it's a gray, dreary, moody morning, typical of pretty much all my other Maksim outdoor adventures. But I told you I would explain to you why we're heading up to Erie. Like I said already, I'm from Pittsburgh. If you know anything about the eclipse, there is this little magical line known as the path of totality. And that line, I forget how wide it is, maybe 20 to 50 miles wide, is going to be passing directly over the town of Erie, Pennsylvania. So I'm making the 2-hour drive. I could have stayed back home in Pennsylvania or Pittsburgh. We would have had about a 97% view of the eclipse. But driving 2 hours north, we're going to get the full 100% view of the eclipse. So that's why I'm doing it. You don't really get to see stuff like this too often. I seen the one back in 2017. Unfortunately, I was at work. Decided to take off Monday, and hopefully you guys are seeing this on Wednesday if all things go well. So yeah, we got about an hour drive left till we get to Presque Isle. Fingers crossed. Don't really have any plans set in stone, but yeah, keep your fingers crossed for me. Like I said, it's pouring out right now. Who knows what's gonna happen, but hey, let's make an adventure out of it. What the heck are you doing? You here to see the eclipse? Look at this. Everybody's out here to see the eclipse today. What's up, guys? You guys excited? No? Alrighty, folks. Well, good morning and welcome to Erie, Pennsylvania and Presque Isle State Park. As you can see, the parking situation here is getting a little tight, and it's only 9 a.m. right now. So anyway, I am here at one of my favorite locations in the entire state park system here in Pennsylvania. This area is known as the North Pier. I've spent countless hours here growing up, catching fish, and I figured I would start the day off here showing you one of my favorite spots. Just behind me there, you can see the North Pier Lighthouse, and I'll be taking you down there and giving you a little gist on what we're going to be doing today. So we have about 5 hours until the start of the eclipse. We're going to do a little bit of hiking today, but yeah, let's go check out the lighthouse first. What do you say? Check these views out. Absolutely gorgeous here in April. A little bit colder than I thought with the wind chill. It's probably around 30 degrees right now. Just a little information on the area. Obviously, we are here at Lake Erie, and the town of Erie is just behind me there. And we're gonna go check out this lighthouse. But I also told you I'd give you a little gist on what we're gonna be doing today. I think we're gonna be hiking around 4 miles and linking up with a trail known as the Gull Point Trail, I believe it's called. And if you can look on the horizon there, it almost looks like a little lookout area on the dunes out there. I believe that's where we're going to be heading. So the goal is to try and find a nice secluded area of beach to hang out and get some shots of the eclipse today. If there is an eclipse today, as you can see, pretty darn cloudy. But we're going to make the best of it. So let's get going. So let's take a better look here at the North Pier Lighthouse. This guy was built back in 1858 and eventually it was automated in 1995. So yeah, this thing has definitely seen some history over its days. Pretty awesome. I've been up here a bunch of times, but I don't think I've ever walked down to the lighthouse itself. Check that out. Pretty cool. Well, it's definitely starting to get crowded here. It's around 10 a.m. right now. And driving in here this morning, you'd think that the president was in town. Never seen so many rangers and police officers in my life in a state park. I'm talking in the hundreds. So yeah, I think I've had enough people for the day. So we're gonna disappear off into the woods here in just a second. So let's get going. Alrighty, well, I stumbled upon this pretty secluded beach area with a few picnic tables and decided to take a little breather, a little snack break as I check out some of the views of Lake Erie here just in front of me. And I figured I would talk a little bit more about the eclipse today, in case you were wondering about the circumstances here in northwestern Pennsylvania as the sun starts to rise up over some of the smaller hills here along Lake Erie. So if you're curious about what time the eclipse starts, we definitely have some time to kill, that's for sure. It's a little after 10:30 right now, and the moon won't start moving across the sun until 2 p.m. So yeah, and eventually the moon will cross over. Totality will be at 3:16, and if you're not familiar with what totality means, it's whenever the sun and the moon are perfectly aligned. So eventually the moon will pass the sun completely around 4:30, and we'll start our trek back. But yeah, just a little bit more information on the eclipse today. But yeah, I'm gonna hang out here for a little bit. We got a lot of time to kill, so I'll see you on down the trail. All right, well, here we are. We made it to Gull Point Trailhead, and so far everything's aligning. Now we just need the clouds to clear up, the trail's open. I'm gonna head down here and pretty much spend the next 4 to 5 hours hanging out along Lake Erie. So I'll show you anything cool I see along the way. Pretty crazy. All right, well, we have reached the end of the line, as you can see behind me. I'm not even gonna try to go up there. Pretty crowded. So yeah, the plan is to backtrack to one of those beaches that we started this trail at a couple hours ago. Shouldn't take me that long if we're moving. So let's get going. We got less than an hour. Alrighty folks, well, we are just about 20 minutes away from the eclipse. I only had to backtrack a good 10 to 20 minutes away from where we were earlier, but as you can see, this place is jam-packed. The beach is about, I don't know, a half a mile down from me, and it looks like there are hundreds of people down there, and you'll see folks kind of scattered around the shoreline here, up and down. The Coast Guard's hanging out along the tip of the peninsula, some sailboats out, even a giant freighter way off there in the distance as we look north towards Canada. But yeah, this is going to be the home for the next couple hours. So I do have an app on my phone, a sun tracker app, and it looks like the sun's basically just going to follow this path here as the eclipse happens. So I'm going to set up a couple time lapses, and yeah, who knows what's going to happen. As you can see, got some blue skies for the first time today. We might get lucky. So fingers crossed. Gonna get everything set up, ready to go, and let's go. Alrighty folks, the skies are starting to clear up, and one last tidbit of information for you all out there. Maybe you're watching this video in 2044, right before the next eclipse here in the United States, or maybe you're traveling overseas to see an eclipse in the near future. You always want to make sure you bring protection with you. I brought both kind of glasses, the cheapo, looks like 3D movie glasses, and these nice pair of plastic glasses. So you don't want to look at the sun directly, you'll go blind. It's sad that we have to explain that in the modern day, but yeah, if you're viewing an eclipse, make sure you got the proper protection. All right, let's get to it. Let's go. All right, well, we got some more blue skies rolling in, and I figured I would show you this real quick. So I brought up the Erie, Pennsylvania eclipse times. As you can see, Erie, PA. Partial eclipse begins at 2:02 It is currently 1:59, and the maximum totality will be at 3:18. So I did throw on the glasses. They are working just fine. And yeah, we might get lucky here, guys. All right, well, we are about 10 minutes into the eclipse now, and to be totally honest, it just looks like the sun to me. Oh, you know what? I can actually see a little corner of the moon now, as soon as I say that. I was just thinking how funny it would be if there was no eclipse, if it was just a big prank and we all got fooled. But definitely just saw the moon. That was pretty cool. Alrighty, well, how lucky are we? Blue skies, the sun is out, the eclipse, it's doing its thing. Just a beautiful day. I feel so lucky to be out here right now. Ah, man. The moon is probably about a 1/16 of its way covering the sun right now, even though you probably can't see it on the GoPro. But I figured I would talk a little bit more about the eclipse. So, totality, which is gonna happen at 3:18 today. So when that happens, it's virtually gonna be nighttime for 3 to 4 minutes. We're not gonna see any daylight for 3 to 4 minutes, which is pretty mind-boggling. And some weird things happen then. Obviously, shadows get a little weird. Animals get a little weird. Bees will go back to their hive. Birds will go back to their nests. And to top things off, when it gets so dark, due to the totality, due to the moon covering up the sun, we'll actually be able to see some stars and planets. So if I remember right, I believe Venus and Jupiter are gonna be in the vicinity of the sun. So we're gonna keep an eye out for that. But yeah, the show's just beginning. So yeah, what a day. All right, well, the longer the day goes on, the nicer and nicer it gets. Check out these blue waters of Lake Erie as a Coast Guard boat speeds on by. So right now, as I'm standing here, it is just a little bit after 2:30, which marks, it's been a solar eclipse now for over half an hour. And in just about another half an hour, we will be at totality. So I did want to stop and show you guys this real quick as best as I can. I don't know how well this will come up on the camera, but I will put up the glasses to the sun, and pretty cool. It looks like Pac-Man. The moon is just about, I don't know, 25% across the sun right now. But yeah, hopefully you guys are able to see that. Big old Pac-Man in the sky there. So yeah, next stop, totality. Alrighty folks, well, we have reached 50% coverage. The moon is halfway through covering up the sun right now, and I figured I would save one last fact for all you folks out there. They're probably the most obscure and interesting in my mind, so sorry if I'm boring you with all these eclipse facts, but correct me in the comments about this one. The sun actually goes through stages. Every 11 years the sun goes from a minimum to a maximum, and right now we are at a solar maximum, which means that we have a better chance of seeing some solar flares, some max ejections, as well as a corona once the moon covers up the sun. So what does that all mean? Well, if you ever seen the Northern Lights or heard about the Northern Lights, the Aurora Borealis in Greenland or Iceland, that's all due to solar flares and mass ejections. So right now, the sun is at the peak of this cycle that it goes through. And if we're lucky, we'll throw on the glasses during totality and we might see one of those mass ejections. So yeah, last fact before totality, one last look at Lake Erie, as well as this helicopter flying over. So yeah, let's get it. All right, well, we got about 20 more minutes before totality. The sun kind of looks like a crescent moon right now. That's the best way to describe it. It is cold out here. The wind is blowing. Feel great. Trying to just describe the moment, that way I can remember this. Just feel good, I feel alive. All kinds of crazy planes flying around. I don't know if you can see all these contrails. I don't know if they're private jets flying around just getting views of the eclipse. I mean, you can see the contrails all the way around here. Kind of a weird feeling, you know, Coast Guard boats everywhere, planes doing crazy things. But yeah, just living it up right now. All right, well, we have made it to 3 o'clock, and as Scott Hansen would say, we have arrived at the witching hour. Very, very odd out here. It's an eerie feeling. It's like dark and light at the same time. I'm sure this video isn't doing it justice at all, but yeah, what a odd feeling. But I'm gonna show you one last view with the glasses. The sun just looks like a fingernail right now. Very, very skinny. So yeah, hopefully you can make out something with these glasses at home there. So there you have it. We are just minutes away from Totality. And yeah, I couldn't be more excited, but just a very, very eerie feeling out here. Yeah, I don't know. Video will never do something like this justice. Once in a lifetime event here. Man, I got like anxiety. All right, guys, we did it. We made it to Totality. Look at this. Oh my God. I did not expect it to be this crazy. Holy cow. I am just beyond words right now, guys. It's gonna be like this for 4 minutes. Look at that. Holy cow. This is just incredible. I don't want to stop filming right now. That is just how incredible this is. Look at this. I mentioned the planets earlier. I believe that's Venus or Jupiter over there, but man, this will just blow your mind, guys. Once in a lifetime moment right here. It is 3:18 and it is completely dark. Look at that. Will make a grown man cry. All right, and we are starting to come out of the darkness now. Wow. Look at that. Holy cow. Well, guys, sorry to beat a dead horse, but I've seen some really incredible things in my life, but nothing will top that. All right, well, the eclipse isn't wrapped up yet, but I figured this would be a good time for me to wrap up this video, this special Wednesday edition of Maksim Outdoors, and one of the rare iterations of me putting out a video on time. So yeah, you'll be seeing me again on Friday with some more of the cruise vlog, so hopefully you guys are enjoying that. But yeah, wow, once in a lifetime event here. I'm just speechless. Seriously, if you haven't ever experienced an eclipse and you're thinking about it, just do it. That was easily the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life, and it's still going on right now. But yeah, Totality, definitely worth driving the 2 hours to see 100% Totality. So I'm gonna wrap things up here. I'm gonna hike on back to the truck. We'll be back here in Presque Isle to give this park an entire look around. This wasn't enough. This video is primarily about the eclipse. So yeah, as always, if you aren't already, please subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment, tell me what you thought. Have you ever seen an eclipse? I'm still just mind blown and speechless. But all right, I'll see you with an all new episode coming Friday. See you guys.